This video introduces Young Africa Works in Uganda, the Markets for Youth program implemented by Goal Uganda, private sector partners, and 3 Ugandan civil society organizations. The Markets for Youth program is part of the Mastercard Foundation Young Africa Works in Uganda initiative. The Markets for Youth is a 5-year program and will be implemented in 5 sub-regions and 16 districts across the country. The Markets for Youth program is a market systems development intervention that will directly enable 300,000 rural young women and men to access dignified and fulfilling work. The program will specifically target young women, refugees, and people living with disabilities.
The vision that we have with this program is to transform the agricultural sector such that it can create jobs for millions of Ugandans in a sustainable manner.
Uganda's population is fast growing and is young, with an annual growth rate of 3.3%. 85% is below 35 years. Projections for 2040 indicate that youth population will be doubled. Refugees account for 3% of the population, or approximately 1.2 million people, of which 80% are women and children. 12.4% of Uganda's population has a disability. In rural areas, this figure reaches even up to 20%. While the national unemployment rate is 3.5%, that of the youth is almost 35%. Our own data shows that this figure even climbs up to 90% for out-of-school youths in northern Uganda. Of the more than 400,000 young Ugandans who enter the labor market each year, only 9,000 will find a formal job. Around 70% of the workforce and 50% of youth in Uganda are engaged in the agricultural sector. There is an important mismatch between what is offered and needed in the labor market. More than 60% of medium or large businesses consider courses provided by BT vets as non-relevant. The agricultural sector can be characterized by low production and productivity as a result of low level of technology, low-skilled labor with little investments, and dealing with poor infrastructure. Value chains are therefore moderately developed and lacking high-quality supporting services. Youths also face the challenge of limited access to formal finance. Only 3% have ever received a loan. Youths are generally less organized or represented in farmer groups or VSLAs or political groups than their parents. As a consequence, their voice is much less heard in the policy-making arena. The program Markets for Youth aims at tackling many of those challenges through facilitating and working with the actors in the market system. It will be through partnering and supporting existing private sector actors to expand their businesses, adapt their business models, develop new products and services. This will help to create economic and market opportunities for the beneficiaries and their enterprises. Markets for Youths identifies multiple pathways through which rural young women and men can be enabled to access work in the agricultural sector. These are access to finance, access to skills, access to own and off-farm input and output services, and increased confidence and collective voice. The combination of interventions will enforce the overall impact and scale. Ultimately, the overall goal is having 300,000 youths engaged in dignified and fulfilling work. As said earlier in the video, the program follows a facilitative approach in market systems development. Its implementation is through the private sector and civil society organization partners. Ideation of intervention is jointly done, informed by market opportunities and research findings. With partners and other stakeholders, the program aims at intensive collaboration and creating synergy. Goal believes that technology and innovation can change the agricultural market into a more inclusive and beneficial ecosystem for young people. Goal has good experiences with public and private sector partners working in skilling and financial sector, inputs and output sector. For instance, with facilitation from Goal, Equity and Centenary Bank are both expanding outreach by recruiting and training new banking agents who make it easier for youths to open bank accounts, save, withdraw money, and get information on banking products. Through the bank's efforts on digitalization of village saving and lending associations, aka VSLAs, banks can monitor and appraise VSLA's financial status and their readiness to receive group loans or even individual loans. With MobiPay, Goal invests in digital, web-based, and remote learning that will help bring technical and life skills at the doorsteps of the youths. With the likes of M. Omulimisa, Goal invests in their network of village agents who profile youth farmers, aggregate demand for inputs and supplies of agricultural commodities on their app-based mobile platform, and link youth farmers in the last mile to agribusiness service providers across the country. These are just a number of examples the program aims to pilot, adapt, and expand at scale.
So what we are envisioning in the program is to implement innovative interventions that can transform the sector. For example, technology-driven skill training to increase labor and land productivity, establish tech-driven supply chain and modern input distribution system that's accessible to young farmers to the last mile. The program will also work and contribute towards the development of modern agriculture strategy and policy at national level.
The program ambitions are big. We target 70% of the beneficiaries reached to be young women, 10% of the beneficiaries be refugees, and 5% young people living with a disability. To reach out and target these groups, the program will work with partners that may be stronger rooted in communities and have a specific expertise. For instance, with Kabarole Research Center, Mukobadi, and Wezesha, all local organizations with a specific expertise on mobilizing and empowering young people on the ground. Light for the World, an organization with expertise in economic empowerment of people with disability, will support us in achieving the 5% beneficiary target. All this to ensure that the market system will give equal opportunities of dignified and fulfilling work to all young people in Uganda to make markets inclusive for youth. So far, we have introduced the strategies of the program, but in the end, it is about realizing a dream of young women and men to have fulfilling and dignifying work. Diana and Blessed Lydia clarify what they understand about that.
I'm Kola Kechmasi Diana from Nyakwai Sub-County, Pupukamuya Parish at the North Village. According to me, a fulfilling and a dignifying work is where my voice is heard and I'm not sexually harassed.
Call Ato Blessed Lydia from Kanu Parish Village, Kanu in Abim District. A fulfilling and dignifying work is what pays me and I'm able to get the basic need of my children, husband, and I'm able to save some.